Okay, great. Well, welcome everyone. You all know me, Dan Zink, and I teach hospitality management here at Chester. Are you coming in this way? Come on. I'm Dan.
Hey.
So yeah, we're doing a deal today on work-based learning and or experiential learning. Crazy work-based ideas is what the title's called. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is get the blood flowing. So if you're able to, I want everyone to follow my lead. Everyone stand up. Give yourself a little space too. Bill, I know you got the foot thing. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. We're gonna move.
I may pass.
Okay. All right, so everyone, feet about shoulder width apart. Take one leg, whichever one you want, put it about a foot forward. Okay, bend your knees a little bit. Hands come up right here. Now, if you can, you're going to do a little Tai Chi. We're going to take your front knee and just kind of bend it in like this. Okay, now back out slowly. Let's do one more slowly. Bend it in, back out. Okay, now just back and forth. Go for it. Look what we're doing. Twist, right? What do you say? Very good. You guys just did the twist. If I'd have said, hey guys, everyone stand up and do the twist, how many people would have done it? Probably none. So yeah, and it works better in a full room because people don't realize what's coming. They start laughing. There's always someone that takes off with it. So anyway, that's the way I like to get my blood flowing for some classes. So we're doing work-based learning and or experiential learning. And we want to come up with some crazy ideas on how to just make it more, make it better if you want, if that works for you in your class. I'm not telling anyone how to teach their class, just ideas to ponder and think about, okay? My definition, I know Webster's has got a fancy definition, that's pretty good. But my definition is to make our teaching as much as we can like the real world. And same time, we're gonna make it as much and or make it as much as we can in the real world. Two different things. If we can do both of them, we're probably way ahead of the game. Comes with its own sets of challenges and pros and cons for sure. And it probably doesn't really sound too hard, but there's some real challenges. Okay, so I'll tell you a quick story. In the business department, we get certified, accredited through ACBSP, Association of Small Business Colleges and Business Colleges. And I went to Houston to a seminar with Jake Stanifer and Amanda. And so we went to Houston. You know how these things work. You get a guest speaker in the morning and then you like break out, you do breakout presentations and sessions and stuff. And we kept picking out one of the hot topics that year was this kind of work-based learning, being more productive and everything. So we would go to these various ones separately. And so I hit like 4 or 5 of them. And Jake and Amanda, I remember they were in one of them with me. And, you know, if you know Jake and Amanda, they're very smart. They're very studious. They're the kind of people that got straight A's in college. And that's why they're teachers, right? They're academic. So guest speaker is talking about work-based learning. And guess what they're using as their number one tool? Oh, just the opposite of work-based learning. And that's our mindset, right? Because we're teachers, use the PowerPoint. And so I remember, you know, several occasions looking over at Jake and Amanda, and here's these great, wonderful employees and academic, you know, they're just watching, taking notes, doing whatever they're doing. And I'm this hospitality guy, right? I'm not Jake and Amanda. So after 30 minutes, you know what I was doing? That's it, right? So I know that most of my students are just like me. There's a reason was in the restaurant business from the day I was 16 to the day I was 30, and then in outdoor recreation after that, is because I'm hyperactive. I don't want to sit still and watch PowerPoint. So I have the mindset of my students are just like me. They're all in the restaurant business. They're all working. They're in hotels. And when they sit down, they want to fall asleep. Okay, so I'm constantly just thinking, how can I make it better for me in my class? So that's what we'll go on today. We'll try to knock around some ideas that might work for me. You can improve my ideas. And then we'll knock around some ideas that might work for you in your individual classes. See if we can get something out of it. And that's the goal for today. Sound good? All right, so we'll start off with a game called Beat Dan's Inc. Beat Uncle Dan, okay? You got to beat me. There was a show, a chef show. I think it's called Beat Bobby Flay. Yeah, I saw like a segment of it once. I thought it was really cool. And so I thought, well, let's do this. Let's beat Dan's Inc. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a scenario. You guys can, let's see, if we split up. Let's split up two, and two. And you guys can come up with a great idea of my subject matter I'm teaching. And see if you can come up with a great work-based learning or experiential learning idea to beat me. Okay, so we're going to try to make it as close to the real world as possible. And if we can, we're going to come up with an idea to put it in the real world and do both. Okay, limitations here. Maybe it's not practical, whatever you come up with. Let's try to do what's practical. Okay, all right, so here's the scenario. I have a customer service class. Guest experience is what we call it. Okay, so in this class, we do restaurants and tourism and hotels. So for this exercise, let's pick a hotel. We want to teach people or have them learn about service in a hotel. And that includes the environment of the hotel, the service-scape, we call it. So is the lobby pretty? Is it clean? Are the steps right? All that stuff. And how long does it take to get greeted? All these things are things we can measure. And I can teach all this in a PowerPoint, right? I can also teach the twist in a PowerPoint. Would that work as well as what we just did? Because you thought I was just getting your blood pumping, but what we were really doing was experiential learning, right? And if I'd have trained you the right way, where I describe it, then I demonstrate it, then you practice, then I critique, and we repeat, you had been really good at it within a couple hours. Certainly better than me. So anyway, I've got to teach this to hotel students, okay? And I want to teach them not to just be front desk workers. That's not what my program's about. It's about management, right? So I want to teach them to be a front desk supervisor, someday a front desk manager, someday a general manager, and maybe even someday a district manager or an owner, which they all look at things slightly different. Okay, so now you guys help me out because I need all the help I can get. Got 2 minutes, come up with an exercise or a training lesson, just the theory of it, that I can put into practice for experiential learning. We'll compare that to what I really do. It'll be a challenge for you. Whoever comes up with the best idea, if you can beat me, you get it. Sure. Okay, so let's see what time it is. And those of you, if there's anyone at home, go ahead, give it a warm. It's 11:39. At exactly 11:42, we're gonna see what you got. Go for it.
Spanish. Most of my cycles.
Teacher.
No, I. Yeah.
That's awesome. I think that's what to you about.
Running the tracking. You got me started.
Yeah.
I'll tell them to do this.
That makes sense.
Identify.
I was thinking about.
I think like kind of going to that, trying to talk about that lobby. So these classes are the CDIH building. Have you ever been over there? It's that really big building. It's got like a pond in front of it. So here, like you leave it. So like getting to go through like immersions. Yeah. Like just having them like step into these roles. Like, we don't really know. Because like when I was.
That's a lot like.
So I have students are directors, students are editors. It's do you know how to do that with Spanish?
Got me.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And they went over the food and what they like.
Well,
I had awesome, I had other class too, you know, non-English speakers, like that. Yeah.
But all three of the stands.
So when you said a bunch of
things.
different, like, so different areas, not just the front desk, but other areas.
To go in order, what the heck?
I was just telling her, I just related to somewhere I was recently, that you want to. It's never.
Really cool.
Because they're not spending, like, now we're gonna do it this way, I'm like, nobody wants to spend money. At the bar or something like that.
Can you think of a restaurant that's completely uncomfortable on purpose? There's one that's a classic example.
No, I don't, you
The
know.
Wild House.
Oh,
50 years ago, they got.
I know, when I think of the uppity places like you would relate to, I don't think of Waffle House. To me, one of my grandsons said Waffle House is where you go to sober up after you got drunk the night.
And that's.
Yeah, that is, yeah, it's true. I didn't talk about small seats. I will not go there again because they make it up in the house like the old fashioned drugstores. I like sitting in a book. But if you come in there alone, they let you sit.
Think I did my, she would bring, you know, traditional Mexican dishes and stuff.
It's time to go.
Yeah.
Were you guys able to come up with something in only 2.5 minutes? You guys think you can beat me?
Try.
What'd you guys come up with?
So Rosalva came up with a great idea. So she teaches Spanish. So
Okay,
she was saying, having students learn, like in the restaurants, like coming and ordering, like if there was a language barrier, like how would you go about doing that? For students who may not be traditional English speakers or vice versa. So just kind of putting yourself in their shoes and, bridging the gap.
well, that definitely needs to be done.
Yeah.
How would you do it? Did you guys get that far yet?
Like role playing?
Role playing.
Yeah.
Okay,
I do.
so role playing customer service, can I just write that and be good? I think so.
It's not an actual.
We do tons of role playing. But I gotta tell you, you're not gonna beat me. How about you two?
Alright, so our idea is they come into your classroom, chairs are all pointed different directions, the projector's not working. And what the other things,
Yeah,
the whiteboard's just full
Whiteboard,
of nonsense, just anything like, and have them, without telling them what they're learning, but have them say, hey, just go in there, figure out what's wrong and fix it, and then let's discuss. And then you would introduce, you could do the same thing at a hotel entry or whatever you call it, the lobby, or you could do that at
Yeah.
a restaurant, you could do that anywhere.
Right, okay. Can I call that a spot inspection?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, man, I'm not good with
It's
this.
a show where they renew bars and restaurants.
oh yeah, bar rescue.
That guy gives them what for?
I saw that show one time, only once, and I was impressed with that guy. I don't know if I got him on a good day or if he's really that impressive, but he knew his stuff. Okay, so very good, and we do that too, with the hotel room we have. Okay, you guys, can you beat them?
We also have role playing, so I'm guessing we're not.
Role playing, okay, so we got 2 role plays and 1 spot inspection. You guys get to decide whether what I do can beat that or not. Now, I have a huge advantage. I've had 8 years to work on this, come up with the other. You ready?
Yeah, right.
So what we do is we do the inspection thing. And we go into a hotel that we're partners with, because we know them all, most of them. And we get permission, we talk to the GM, she's a former student of ours. And we go in there and they have to make their own inspection form, as if they worked for Hilton and they were the inspector. So they have to walk around this hotel and they have to say, let's see, I gotta check couches, I gotta check the floor, I gotta check these lights, I gotta check the entrance. I gotta go, and we don't go into the rooms, we just do the public spaces. I gotta check the pool, all that stuff, okay? That's in class. And then their homework assignment for that week is they have to go back to that hotel solo and do a mystery shop inspection, where no one knows they're there. They just go in and they have to score these things. What's satisfactory, what's unsatisfactory, comments, like, oh, we need to fix that. There's smudges on the window, this and that, the other. And they also need the time. They need to pull out their phone, stopwatch on their phone, and time how long it takes someone at the front desk. Time how long it takes someone if they're at the bar, if they're over 21. You know, there's limitations what they can do depending on the time and all this kind of stuff. We're not done yet. They have to turn in the inspection, write a report on it, do the reflection, all that kind of stuff. The next week, they have to go put on a suit and tie. And we all go into the hotel together. And one-on-one, they all go in and meet with the general manager of that hotel and give her a consultation on their evaluation. They have to act like they're the supervisor of the hotel's general manager and professionally give a presentation on what to improve and work on. So you see how you can take experiential learning and amp it up and amp it up and amp it up, where instead of just learning and have an eye for detail, which is what we were originally doing, we turned it into, can I speak professionally? Can I give constructive criticism? Do I know what it's like to dress and wear a suit? Can I go down to the career services at Chat State and borrow a suit if I need to, or dress slacks, all those kinds of, and they're scared to death to do this, right? They realize as soon as it's done. That GM was on my side. She's a former student. She's doing it because she's been there, and whoa, the learning goes through the roof, just crazy through the roof. Okay, see what we can do? Limitations to that. How do I grade that? Rubric. We use a rubric, but it's very subjective, isn't it? It's almost like A for effort. So there's pros and cons to this kind of thing. It's not easy. I have small classes. I can pull it off pretty easy with 10 to 15 people. Can you do this real easy with 40?
You ever have students who are kind of like socially awkward or just nonverbal almost and don't want to, which
Still do it.
ideally, like that's like you may want to change majors. Like if this is, you can't be in front of people.
We have more than one autistic, and they're in that major on purpose because they want to get better, and they have, and they do this. Are they scared? Yeah, they do it. So, and we're very supportive. I think, hopefully that goes without saying, we're very supportive on this stuff when they're, you know, I'm nervous. You can do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You know, we're all on your side. And they, once they hear that, and they know our personalities, and yeah. Okay, that's one. I'm one. It's Dan one. I'm saying I won. Are you guys with me on that?
I agree.
Okay.
It was there.
Uncle Dan is one in class. I'm just gonna leave that because you're gonna get more. You're gonna. All right. We have a class called Designing Tourism Experiences. And that's preceded by a class called Leisure and Tourism. So there's a tourism part 1 and tourism part 2, but the second one culminates in designing tourism experiences. It's just what you think, right? We want to create a business. It's more than just an experience. We're going to create a whole business out of these experiences. And I got to teach people through the whole semester how to start from A to Z as much as I can. You can't teach it all that in one semester. Lots of books, tourism books, entrepreneurial books, all this kind of stuff. Have at it. What should I do? Well, how should I teach? It's 11:49. Well, I'll give you to 11:54 to come up with an idea for me, experiential learning that I can put into practice.
So we're not creating an experience. Like we're thinking how to teach your students how to create an experience.
Yes, any way you can do that. The more, for this seminar, the more experiential, the more work-based, the better for this seminar.
Teaching.
Because I'm thinking like,
I'm thinking in terms of wherever I go, I see tags from the Northeast, tags from the West Coast of all these people in that little area. And I'm thinking, what do you do to welcome them, to make it a company? Because they're everywhere. I go to the river farm and just one right now, there's somebody from somewhere else. If I moved here, because they think it's nice, those tours.
Those tours, yeah.
What can we do for them?
Yeah.
I've always been to, one of my former, or it's kind of an actor we knew, had worked with, and been in Mexico, but he was the guy, and I had been to go.
Except with the hangar, they got all that money, they accumulated elsewhere, and they got paid cash for a house.
I've been up there. Yeah.
I tried to get through the lockers.
Yeah.
I think what I'm thinking in terms of is packaging, whatever it is here,
So,
that everybody likes, you know, and make it in such a way that
Yeah.
they want to get their friends to come.
we're gonna learn how to do that.
I would imagine, yeah.
So maybe go on and go.
Oh,
And then adapt it to history. maybe that-
the days, that's, you know, that's the part, you get students to get excited about that.
Take like phone trips or anything like.
Now, so you haven't lived in Chattanooga, what brought you to
Just venues, whatever, just different types of.
I just like, I just switched jobs.
Yeah.
So, and then my family is
Yeah.
here.
Oh,
So
okay.
my family's here.
Yeah.
Oh, they're also stuff.
Yeah.
Are they collegiate students or?
Growing up here, everybody wanted to go to bigger cities, and now people are like.
Okay. Gotcha. But you do, how did you guys?
I'm struggling.
You know,
This is your first.
I've got a grandson
Okay.
competes.
Did you teach someone previously?
Iron Man, all that. I'm trying to get him to start a business where,
I came in before.
I mean, they can't compete.
We're mostly.
But people come here
And then.
and he takes them on bike tours, he takes them on.
Yeah.
That's swinging.
That would be fun.
That's gonna be,
Arizona State.
but you know, something to.
I applied TK.
It was online, but I love it.
Come on in,
It's awesome.
make yourself at home.
Yeah, I'm over here.
Okay.
I was just noticing you over
You
there.
wanted to visit that game, that's what we were gonna do.
Okay, it's time. Did you guys have any luck?
It's the best one.
In 2.5 minutes? Did you guys come up with anything?
We're gonna take the L on this one.
This one's a bigger, broader topic than just a specific exercise, you know. What'd you guys have, Chris, Nancy? Did you guys come up with anything?
Yeah, we were thinking about a walk with maybe, you know, ghost walk or something of those kind of things. You know, maybe walk around the city and have a historian say, hey, this was blah, 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 blah. That's all I got.
And then maybe adapting that to like music, like here's a tour of
Right, right,
venues or food.
Right, so you guys were focused on the idea,
Well,
but I'm focused on how do I teach these guys?
So I was thinking we take them down there and do one of them and then be like, now y'all adapt it.
Do a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm loving it. Yeah, do one of those tours, do some touristy thing and have them really critique that touristy thing. Well,
Do the thing.
Can I ask a question on that? So like Rosalba, she has a lot of dual enrollment students. So like, how, do you have like ideas how you could mitigate that for like high school students?
Request a field trip. Maybe it's probably a lot of headache, but I had kids from CCA come to our campus as a field trip
Okay.
and it was a great day. So it's possible, but I don't know how, if you could do it to all.
Yeah.
A lot of different.
Cause we were
cultures.
talking about like learning walks and stuff, but like it'd be hard to to do that, I guess, with some dual enrollment high school students.
For sure.
most of these things take a lot more energy up front, and maybe not more time, just more energy.
Well,
You
like
know
you
what
were saying, the PowerPoint, it's easy to stand up and blah, 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 blah. This type of teaching takes real effort.
Right.
It's a lot harder.
So, but there again, what's more memorable? If you guys think back to your college days, what's the most memorable thing you did in college? For me, it was when we had to run the restaurant. You know what I mean? Kind of like what we do over there. That was the best class we had, was the one where we had to run the restaurant. The second best class was where we had to stimulate opening up our own restaurant. So guess what my answer is for this one? They have to come up with a business plan, just like if you want to get a loan from the bank, complete with drawings and pictures and real estate picked out and mortgages figured out. They have to come up with the concept and operational plan. They have to come up with a safety plan. They have to come up with the numbers. They have to do a break-even analysis. But they get a whole semester to do all that, right? But guess what my class looks like? Class is, instead of a 2.5 hour long class like we normally do, they've been out working on this stuff all week in theory, and they have to eventually. If they don't do it on time, it's a different story. And then in class, it's like, you read the rubric, you know how to do this stuff. Who needs help? I'm here to help. And now they're asking me for the information on how to do a break-even analysis because I'm a little confused. You know what I mean? Instead of me going, this is a break-even analysis, turn to PowerPoint 3. You know, they were sleeping again, right? So it's really helpful because they're out looking at real estate. They're, you know, on the real estate websites looking at these things. They're driving over there, taking pictures and going, I can fit this here, but, oh, did you remember where you're gonna put the dumpster? Did you remember the parking space? How are you gonna fit a handicap ramp in that lot? And you see how much more real world it turns into, okay? But guess what? We're not done there. They had to create a presentation out of this like they were going to a banker. We invite former students and we invite Jake Stanford's class and Kamisha's class to come over and be judges, and they have to pitch it just like they're on Shark Tank. So you see how much deeper they have to dive because they don't want to embarrass themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then once they start getting into it and they really want to own that food truck that they're doing or that Airbnb business that they're creating, they really want to do these things. We had people making a putt-putt golf course. We've had people making a Disney event, which is, you know, maybe someday there'll be a vice president for Disney and they can do that. A Tron arcade at Disney, you know what I mean? That old stuff. We had someone doing this thing where you break things. You pay to go in and break things. Only she took it to the next level. She put an upper deck where people could come in and have beers and watch people break things and fall and slip and do all this other stuff. Now, like Top Golf, you know what I mean? She took it to a level. But isn't that better? It's work-based learning, experiential learning, okay? And we perceive that with another class that prepares them a little bit, okay? The leisure and tourism class. Hey, Chad, come on in, man. It's a leisure and tourism class. For instance, everyone, this is a steady assignment we've had last 2 years. Everyone drive down to Dalton. I'll help you get there if you need help, and go to the North Georgia Agricultural Fair. Because it's open all week, day and night. They got time to get in there and pick a ride, any ride that you like, and create a safety plan, because that's part of our curriculum. Create a safety plan for that ride. Yeah, so we have people, they actually have a thing there where you get to feed the tigers. And they get to create a safety plan for feeding the tigers, which, oh man, good luck with that. And they got this flying octopus thing. In the real world, the operators on the ride, you know what I mean? How do you fix that? How do we correct for that? How do you make sure that when you own 10 of these fairs all around the country, that your people are not, we get to address that in its real world. And they get to see the consequences if they don't fix it. Compare that to PowerPoint. Make sure you have the safety plan. Back to the snooze you lose kind of thing. You know what I mean? All right. Let's do one more. We have a risk reduction class where we don't want to get sued for slips and falls, employee discrimination based on civil rights acts, things. We cover that. We cover a little bit about contracts. We cover alcohol law. They're called dram shop laws. If I overserve Bill behind the bar and he crashes into someone, I get the blame too, right? So we cover all these truth and menu laws, all sorts of stuff. Really fun. Anyway, most of our students, as they should be, are scared of getting sued. And it's scary when you're a young manager and you do something wrong in a restaurant and someone says, I'm gonna take you to court. That's a scary thing. That's really scary because we've never, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So that's the purpose of this class, okay? So we go over a lot of things like slip and fall, who's at fault, filling out incident reports, all this kind of thing. But we also go over, if you are in court, who's gonna win? Someone sues you, who's gonna win? Well, I'll tell you a little secret. This is so basic. It's so basic. It's embarrassing. The person that brings the most evidence wins. You bring 51% of the evidence in civil case, you're gonna win. The other person's gonna lose. Okay. I know I can teach that in a PowerPoint, just like I explained it to you right now. Let's take 2 minutes and you guys come up with an experiential way to teach the same thing that they'll either know it by being around it or they'll remember it. They'll feel it better. All those kinds of things. Come up with something out of the box. Go crazy. Okay. Unfortunately, you have a disadvantage. You only have 2 minutes where I have 10 years. It's 12:01, 12:02 now. So at 12:05, we'll see if you guys can beat me. Go.
We're creating a work-based experience, work-based learning for.
Handling a suit in court.
Okay.
No.
Bring two.
So we're assuming that.
There's somebody's.
Yeah.
Or just.
You did something.
Where restaurants, the students are gonna be running businesses and.
It's cross.
Or-
Cross.
So there's something.
I keep going back to it. It's like, you have like students like.
Yeah,
One side is running the restaurant, the other side,
right.
I guess, trying to sue the restaurant, and trying to take them to.
Maybe
But I guess we need a third party to
Some of
like the
the
judge decide. Or maybe
students
actually
could.
hospitals set them up with like.
You know, some costs.
An actual.
You know, this is what happened, this is what we
I'll go
do
down and come up.
Actually, have.
to make it better.
Somebody-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can.
So it is for that color chart, I'm gonna get to the class.
Like actually playing their role.
Seems to meet their major.
In your class though. I need to learn to make.
Yeah.
Some show.
Really?
You could do that in your class.
Finish.
With a fine color, right? It's not playing the same as like.
No, but
Was gonna be.
there might be something, you know, because they've got to look into the
Well, I
law.
just feel guilty because like NBA, that's for example, we go to hands-on classes that are already
About
much different.
a judge, right? I mean, to a class. I like a, believe it or not, I know you get attorneys or people that work for, oh, you've done it?
Yeah.
You'll get an actual, okay.
Yes.
Well, the game once. You're gonna beat people or
Thing.
yeah, something like that. When you're half, you're there, you just gotta.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe you'll get it.
Still next week. Jazz up, but-
1 minute, it's 12:04, you got 1 minute. You guys are you guys done? Hopefully there's someone at home who's scribbling real fast.
Or if they have to like do research, like find a restaurant.
Okay,
actually
tough.
is gonna
Well,
go
let's mix it up. We'll go the other direction.
consultants and try to collect evidence there.
What'd you guys come up with, Bill
Um,
and she and
I guess, so, we were just talking about like how to bring it to the next level, but see if, students can find a restaurant who's actually being sued and have them act as like consultants and try to help the restaurants collect evidence.
Wonderful. Help a restaurant in trouble. I'm just gonna write that for. If we could do that, I would say that's the bomb. It's gonna be a tough one to pull off.
if now we're thinking like role playing for. like,
Role playing.
For
Yeah,
the students, and then see if we're talking about maybe if we can like find an actual judge, so have the students go in front of an actual judge and have them lay out the scenario, so like have the students pretend to be the customers who are trying to sue a restaurant, and then the restaurants trying to defend themselves in front of the actual judge.
that's awesome. You might have me beat. You
Try.
might have me beat. So they're gonna role play with an actual judge is the one that they could realistically pull off on a regular basis. Can you guys beat it? Can you guys come up with something as good? Better?
Can I add to that one?
Yeah.
So in the paralegal program, we teach a civil litigation 1 and 2 course. For the first time ever this spring, the retired Judge Neil Thomas is going to co-teach it with another faculty member. Who's an acting paralegal in civil litigation. Week 6, they're going to the courthouse and they're going to do a mock trial that Dr. Lewis, I believe, is going to be a part of. So piggybacking on y'all's idea, could we have these students join that activity?
Probably. I mean, our class is over, but they would probably go just to do it.
It really
To
does.
learn more.
I don't know does it matter for Dr. Goldsmith what that suit is about? Because we could really make this a double dip.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
And it probably doesn't matter what the suit's
Yeah, you
about.
just need
If we
to-
get, we get all.
So if we make it a restaurant suit,
Yeah, I met him this morning, but we certainly could ask him.
So, yeah, wonderful. Yeah, you guys might have me beat. Can you beat that?
I was gonna
What's
say,
that?
put Linda Coslin as the judge, and she's got her attorneys. But yeah, I said like, do like a Judge Judy type show where like you have, some of the students come and pretend to be judges or whoever and.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
And so that's what we do. Role playing, Judge Judy type show. And well, I give them different scenarios and they split up into teams and one's got to be the plaintiff, one has to be the defendant. And so we do that in class with actual real life case studies. But then we do a field trip to General Sessions Court in the city of Chattanooga, or Hamilton County, city of Chattanooga. And once again, we put on suits. We go in the courtroom and we sit down and we watch these cases and critique them back in class. And the Judge Sell, the last time we were there, we've been there before, she said, "Who are you guys with? Are you waiting for a trial?" We told her who we were with and everything. She called us up front, explained a bunch of stuff to us. And then every decision she made after, she spoke very loudly so we could hear what her logic was and what her reasoning was and all this kind of stuff. So very similar. But, think about how much could I learn about that stuff in a PowerPoint? How much did I learn by going to the courthouse and acting like lawyers, watching judges, watching the bailiff, watching the other defendants who show up raggedy, no evidence. It's like you're watching a stacked deck. Someone walks up there with a whole manila folder full of evidence. And the loser walks up with just nothing in their pockets or nothing, and they lose. That visual that they get, in my opinion, for me anyway, and my students, they're never gonna forget that.
I think years ago, I used to try to do a lot of off-campus things, film shoots and stuff, but then some of the equity issues started coming up of like, well, some students don't have transportation for this event. But it's those students that can gain the most value. Like a lot of our students have only been to their schools and their neighborhood, and they've never left their side of Chattanooga. But empowering them to see a courthouse or a restaurant or a hotel or whatever really can make a huge difference in their lives. So I feel like as an institution, maybe we need to like encourage work-based learning, but also like facilitate it. Like you need a van, like what do you need? Like make it happen.
I get not a lot, I get some excuses. But we make it work. Do you need me to pick you up? And someone will say, well, there's liability. If you get in a car accident, you have liability. I don't know about you guys, but I have car insurance. I'm not worried about driving someone down the road. I have car insurance. And they have Uber. We have severely autistic person from the access program, not even from our class, who gets there. And I always offer him a ride and he gets there on his own. Okay, so I think people are much more capable than we give them credit for. This is what we're preparing them for in the real world, is to get out there and go do these things. So yeah, it's a real eye opener for these guys. And we people in hotel management have never been in a nice hotel before. And that's understandable when you think about it. One of my lessons is just go to the hotel and just sit in the lobby for 20 or 30 minutes and have a cup of coffee if it makes you feel better. And just sit there. And then after 10 minutes, start writing down 10 things that you would correct, 10 things that you love. And after 20 minutes, they feel comfortable in that hotel and they realize people are friendly. I do fit in. I'm just as welcome here as anywhere else. And now I love the industry. All of a sudden, that's changed everything for me. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're going to go to the next part where we start critiquing and helping come up with ideas for you all, if you want to. But before that, I'm going to give the very obvious lesson that we do all the time. There's two of them, really. One of these hands-on classes. The whole TCAP program is nothing but work-based learning, is it not? And like our culinary arts, in the labs, the chemistry lab, that's already all work-based learning. So we're killing this stuff, and depending on the program, right? Some of the more academic ones, we don't think this way. Don't have to. I'm not telling anyone to do it. The other one is internships. We already do a lot of internships, and my students already work. Almost all of them already have jobs. So here they're having to pay for a class that is their job. So I really, really encourage them. I don't force them, but I really, really encourage them to do a separate internship where they're treated like an intern, like a management intern, not the hourly worker intern. We don't need anyone to learn that. They already know how to do that. A management internship. But we take it one step further, and this one makes my job even easier because they do all the work. They do 100% of the work. I don't tell them where to go get it. I don't tell them how to apply. I'll help them if they want any help, but they know how to do that. I don't tell them how to write a resume. I'll critique it. I don't tell them how to interview. I'll give them advice if they want it. It's like a whole entire micro career the way we do it. They get to think about what they want to do. They get to go try to get that job. They get to get the job. They get to work for 180 hours more. They usually end up working more if they want, and then they get to quit. And if they want, and all that looks good on their resume instead of bad on their resume if they quit. If they want, they can do a second one, a third one, and a fourth one. They don't get credit for it. But how valuable is it to have a micro career before you move into your regular career? I can't decide whether I want to work in a hotel or a cruise ship. I can't decide if I want to be a wedding planner or open up a pop-up business, whatever. Do them both as interns. See what you like the best. Work-based learning, experiential learning. Okay, all right, so questions before we move on? Okay, next exercise. Just for kicks and giggles, you guys pick your program, pick your classes that you teach, and pick the most important lesson you have in your class. Overall, the biggest thing I need to teach my students is how to have a conversation in Spanish. Where's the bathroom or whatever. And then see if you can come up with some ideas to make it more experiential or work-based. Okay? We'll see what you come up with and we'll knock around some ideas. If anyone has ideas for you, we'll float them around. Most of them will be bad. Who cares? You just throw them out. You know what I mean? Okay, what do we need? Let's see, it's 12:14. Let's go to 12:20 and they'll give us some time to critique it and we'll rock out of here. Okay, go. Go ahead. What class are we doing?
Teach them about elasticity. This work, that's what you just already.
Yeah.
I think what we should have had is for some business class.
Can I ask a question that, I can see
Like to get.
absolutely what you're talking about with our AAS.
You're a Christian and you go to a.
Yes,
A kid goes to.
they have to take her class.
So they would normally do.
Accounting, they have to take.
Notice like what's the name of this class and computer.
That's all they take from us. Everything else. And here's the bad news.
They have the restaurant.
They're all planning to go.
That students cook for the.
Transfer to a
Have you
Right.
office communication.
You should do that. Money for it. No.
That BS. And they end up.
Probably why it's even more
Kids.
Yes.
Classes that you see, that's the way they decide. I can't make it. You know, the numbers are worse. They require them to like go through it and they expect them to be. So it's like, okay, what can she?
Maybe they
uh,
have.
focus Get them to.
They toss me.
Those schools, those
Conversations.
that they can get there in the.
Maybe.
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome.
Well, I can't give you everything.
I think just learning, just take the one Spanish.
One day lesson. How can I put that? That one's gonna be tougher, you know.
Oh, that is probably, yeah, accounting, I can say, this is what you do, this is what those financial statements look like. You analyze your business. Part.
And yeah.
See, a lot of them that are entrepreneurship, something like that, they can look at it. That don't, can't say, okay, I'm in this.
Yeah.
How do I make these numbers work?
It's in-
How do I understand these numbers? So I mean, it's there, you know, and
Does that mean account?
Even at.
I like the fact that I get to teach.
I don't have right.
So I got-
It's, yeah, I mean.
And we're doing it right now.
They really.
The pizza. Yeah, I'll try it. Yeah, you're doing it right now, just the same thing.
Well, it's, yeah. You just-
Just give me a tough one.
Yeah.
I got some ideas. Yeah, try to avoid it.
That's what I still say though, are the right answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like $10.
They pick that up.
Yeah, for sure.
Was it 1-to-1 or was it 2-to-1?
It's really good.
You're ahead.
You guys up by a few. You guys got the judge thing. My hand,
I think that's too.
Press release.
not bad. How old you guys all? Chocolate, can you?
I'm excited to hear what y'all do because I feel like go to restaurants, order food. We need to have a restaurant that was like new students would be coming.
I would say so,
Just be like, hey, we're gonna send a lot of students your way this month, so
yeah. But
don't speak any English.
she just
Yeah.
Spanish. Yeah, but I'm worried about, I have like 20 students in my class, so how can I get all the students to that restaurant that everyone has the opportunity to go? That's kind of like my worry about it, like,
But it's a challenge
yeah.
getting.
So I was thinking to, instead of take my students to the restaurant, to recreate that in a classroom. Maybe ask someone to represent the owner or something.
Culinary could be, might be a lot to ask, but do a themed meal and special service for that.
Yeah, see me. I mean, we might be able to
Okay.
do something, you know, have a Mexican themed day. And serve burritos and all that stuff. And we have some Spanish speaking students in our, that maybe we could get to be the server.
Yeah, I have actually the Spanish club and they can act as,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like.
Yeah, so
You're only gonna be speaking Spanish.
there's potential there for sure.
Okay, okay.
Oh, was that your big idea? That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys came up with? So, but really, you turned off the PowerPoint for that one class, that one day. And you want to go into a restaurant or culinary arts and act like customers. And have to ask, where's the bathroom, the baño?
Yeah.
ask, you know,
To say good morning or.
Yeah, right, all that stuff.
And, yeah, it's a lot of,
It's,
it's a lot of vocabulary for them.
sounds really neat. I know I took 2 years of Spanish in high school
Okay.
and just, I mean, that's not enough in high school,
No,
right?
I had two as well.
And then I spent 2 weeks in Mexico.
And you got, yeah.
Came back just talking away, right? So there you go.
That's why I love study abroad programs, like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Let's go, let's go. I love it. I love the attitude. That's what this is all about. Any suggestions for it? Anyone want to add to it? Remember that value add stuff like, oh, we got to meet the judge. Oh, I didn't tell you about the judge. We also, after she helped us, we all signed a card from Chat State, personalized card, and put it in the mail. Another business related thing they learned, polish, right? Oh, I'm sorry, let's get back to what's more important, Spanish.
So a lot of these field trip issues, like, we feel like we want to encourage this as the campus, but there's a lot of logistics. I almost feel like, can we ask for help? Like, who's the coordinator? Who does travel forms? What do we need to do?
Amanda Jordan,
So can we get like
I
a
think.
workshop for that? Like, here's how to take your kids off campus safely and reasonably.
That would be nice, yeah.
'Cause
We were working on doing a trip to Disney World. It's study abroad thing. You have to go for weeks. It's great, but I just want to do a quick one. Amanda Jordan was ready to help anyway, so I don't want to speak for her. but-
I wonder too, isn't there a partnership with Carta? Like, I wonder if there's a way that they could be like
I
a,
mean, they are
If
free.
you're not, our IDs as Chattanooga State allow you to use Carta at no cost.
We can all just ride the Carta together. Or we could do what I do sometimes. We had a tour of the hotel under construction, the whole hard hat thing and everything downtown last week, and it was voluntary. Meet us there after class if you want. They didn't learn a subject of a particular class, but what did they learn? You know what I mean?
Networking.
One of them's applying for a management job to open that hotel. Any other ideas for on the Spanish thing? But I mean, it's practice. Jump in the real world. Spanish is probably tailor-made for that kind of thing. I'm just guessing. How about Nancy? What are you teaching, Nancy?
History.
History. I was thinking it was history. Oh, man, interesting.
Mhm.
How do you turn that into a real world? Would you come up with any ideas?
A couple of years ago, it was a small class. It was a Tennessee history class. We walked around the city and talked about this, that, and the other. Just to, acclimate some things that maybe, maybe you didn't see or heard about. And
Right.
Yeah.
No, if you're teaching European history, it's pretty hard to go to Chattanooga and teach that. I realize that.
yeah.
Of course, Civil War would be real easy.
It is really easy.
Yeah,
It is.
and fun, right? You can just go to Point Park and see all the battles all laid out right in front of you
Yeah.
in the railroads, and I had to cross the river, and this is where Eli Lilly shot all the cannons off into the city. Did you know Eli Lilly was in charge of the cannons that drove them out of the city?
I didn't know that.
Isn't that interesting? That's what they told me at Point Park.
Huh.
No, I read that in a book on Battle of Chickamauga. Yeah. But I mean, you could talk about the Gatling gun
Oh, yeah.
and how big a deal it was, but if you went out to Chickamauga Park
Mhm.
and 20 of you sat there and someone pretended like they had a Gatling gun and just, I think it might hit home a little bit more. And they'll probably never, ever forget that. You could really have some fun
Oh, yeah.
with history stuff.
You generated a history question I gotta ask her. Is that
Go
okay?
ahead.
I grew up not far from Gettysburg, and when I went there once, there was this long field. I don't know, maybe half a mile, but it said you could walk from one end to the other and never touch the ground, just walking on dead bodies.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
And I assumed that was true. I didn't know it was.
Yeah, that was, yeah, I'm old. But yes, it's true.
So that
Yeah.
okay.
I'll figure it out for you.
Oh, okay.
I'll send it to you.
yeah, it's brutal. But yeah, those markers all over Lookout Mountain. There's a few pictures of the whole mountain with not a single tree on the face of it because it was all just shot to pieces, burns.
Yeah.
Can you imagine charging up that mountain into people just picking them off?
Yeah.
The bravery, I can't imagine. Can't imagine. Yes, I think you've got an easier one than her. We'll get to her. Chris, you're doing it all the time.
Mhm.
So
I do one of those pitch things on like a first day of class. I divide them up and like, okay, I've got $1 million to put into a small production, but I need to know it's gonna captivate attention and come up with some ideas for like a TV show or a web series or a website.
really neat.
And so they get competitive and get really mad when I don't award it to them.
Oh, good. That's what we want. Yeah.
You also have some awesome guest speakers that you bring in too and make connections with a lot of students
It's
and.
challenging with the 7 weeks. I used to do more of that.
You could get yourself off the hook on that, picking the winner by doing what I do. You bring in alumni and different teachers and let them pick the winner. Let them be the winner.
I enjoy crushing some of their.
They're learning the real world. They're getting crushed, right? The boss.
That is a good idea to, again, that might build that networking. Like, because I do think people want to come see what we've got, that kind of like, hey, who was that kid who asked all the questions? I want to talk to them. And
That's the reason they do it.
so that's a good idea.
You want to build a pipeline or spy on that next grade student, you know what I mean? Well, hey, we'll use it to our advantage. They're dying to do it. I'm lucky. It's hospitalities. People, you ask them for something, they're like, sure, how can I help? You know? So that's pretty cool. Well, yeah, he's got it going on. You should be teaching this seminar. Bill, did you come up with anything for accounting? That's a tougher one.
Yeah, what is it they say about accountants, and when the battle is over, we come in and count the dead bodies. That's it's kind of hard to make accounting exciting. Fortunately, I'm sitting with her. Econ may be a little worse.
Anyone come up with an idea for Bill?
Can I bring up something related? You were talking about, you're teaching Spanish. I've got a grandson-in-law who's a construction supervisor, and most of his workers are Central Americans. He just uses the
Google Translate?
yes, and he'll type in there what they need to do in English, and then he shows it to the supervisor. They just do it.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
I've found that, when I try to learn Spanish and speak Spanish to my Spanish-speaking employees, I get instant street cred, instant respect from them, and they love me.
Now I want to hear, now I want to hear you speak some Spanish.
You know, you tell me all the restaurant words and all the bad words. I tell you all those. I still remember Boca La Tapa, close the lid on the refrigerator. So I have an idea for you. I can tell you how I learned about P&Ls, profit and loss statements, better than I ever learned 2 years of college, advanced Krannert School of Business, okay? I sat in manager meetings and went over the P&L with the general manager, my boss at the time when I was a young manager. And we talked about food cost and food cost percentage and why is it up 1/10 of a point? Where is it being missed? And look how that went straight to the bottom line. And then we talked about labor cost and how that's up 4%. And how we missed it and how that went to the bottom line. And with the good news, thankfully, our sales are up 4% and covered it up. You do that in manager meetings. Can you find a business that has manager meetings or P&L meetings, where call them what they want? We used to have them every single Monday. Weekends numbers came in every Monday, bam, there we were in a manager meeting. And you're watching managers squirm a little bit if they're not doing too good. And you're watching other managers walking on cloud 9 if their department's cranking it out. How can you not learn in that environment? And is that not real environment? Do they not have to see what the real world's gonna be like if they're not doing their inventories or managing their food costs? Checking their schedules for labor costs? Just a thought. Any other ideas?
Just thinking that do externships for faculty, like some of us are pretty far removed from the real world by now. Like if you've been teaching and spending a semester working at for a TV station or a production company would help, and maybe getting faculty member here to go to Friday meetings with a accounting firm or something, and paying them to go back and reconnect with the workforce.
Yeah. I did job shadow at the Hampton Inn. And like the designing tour, I went to the ag fair too. And I wrote up a thing on Dave, the human cannibal, right? He's the guy. Him and his dad have been doing it since Coney Island in the 1940s. He's a madman too. The net that he landed, he flew up over the swings, you know, the tall swings? He got shot out, flew up over the swings and landed in a net that was no bigger than this room. Man, I said, you must have a lot of confidence in that machine. I wouldn't do it if I didn't, he said. Okay, here's the tough one. Julian.
Yeah.
She's teaching economics.
Mhm.
How on earth are we gonna put that in the real world or make it look experiential, real world? Did you come up with anything? Did you come up with any great, crazy ideas?
Really, I mean, like I was thinking like simulating trade games. But that's more just in class. That's not really like simulating what's.
But it's still based on real world examples, is it not?
We can make it that way. So that's one idea, but I don't know if there's any other suggestions.
Anybody have any suggestions for shooting? Am I saying it right?
Sure, yeah.
Anybody? What was some suggestions?
Well, kind of piggybacking, my daughter and our admin 3 took an economics class this summer. It was macro.
Mhm.
And the publisher now has different simulations built in.
Yeah.
I didn't have Gillian come talk to me about, the PowerPoints or whatever, but these simulations open their eyes to resource utilization and how, if you're spending all your time getting water, but you're not planning and you're not going to eat, and I don't know what the simulation is, but
It's like you're trapped on an island and then like if you get
Survival.
like fish or like collect wood and if you don't balance the two, then you're gonna die, basically.
yeah, so both of them were freaked out by the whole experience.
That's great.
It was great, but to your point, that's what they talked about. They didn't talk about the more traditional.
Right, x-axis versus y-axis and
Mhm.
supply graph and all that stuff. I mean, I know you need to cover that, but then if you can try to find some way to put it in the real world. Anybody have any other suggestions?
And just also related to that, like I just heard, like I break my students into groups sometimes and I like have them do activities and then like during that they would just kind of talk amongst themselves. And then one thing I overheard was like the students again appreciated simulation because of the gamification aspect.
Yeah.
So something like that.
Yeah.
So just make it turn it into games and then.
Yeah, that's right. So I have one. That it may not be any good, it may not be usable, like in the real world, maybe too hard to pull off, but like in the hotel business, we are right up there with the best, with the airlines on changing our prices based on supply and demand. It is economics 101, right? You guys know that. You want to go to Chattanooga during Ironman weekend, you're gonna pay $400 for a hotel room, and you're gonna have to stay for 3 nights minimum to do it. That's $1,200 in revenue, because it's 100% full or 99% full. If you want to get the last 1%, supply is limited, demand is high, price is gonna go up. There's revenue managers that run the revenue, the prices for hotels, and they'll have one revenue manager do like 10 hotels, and AI is taking over. Can we get there's 3 corporate offices for hotel companies in town. Can we spend a day with the revenue manager setting hotel prices? And every GM sets a hotel price when they leave at 5 o'clock. Because the revenue manager sets the first one, then they adjust. Well, we started the day at 85% occupancy and we had 5 walk-in customers already. We're up to 95% occupancy. I only got 5 more to go and I got 7 hours to sell it. Let's raise the price, take my gamble. Because if I raise the price $10, it's $10 of pure profit. Just a thought. Just a thought, is how to turn economics into a real world situation that happens every day in the business world. What a leg up if they've done this before when they get out there.
That's what I think, man. I don't like economics thing. I have some friends who like to go to events. In this case, it's football games. So they will be on vivid seats. StubHub, is that right?
I
And
got you.
they, just like you're talking about, at the beginning of the week, the price for the ticket is X. If you wait till 5 minutes before the game kicks off,
If it's not sold out,
if it's not sold out.
if it's sold out, you're in trouble.
Right, but then like you take that game, because you watch that price change throughout the week. And what you're open to do, somebody at the last minute, you can snatch up a deal. If not, you just go home.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I'm like,
Don't you love it?
well, and these are college students, so they don't have a lot of money, so they're willing to invest a little time that they might lose if they don't actually get the ticket that they can afford. I was like, that's economics in action right there.
It sure is. It totally is. So I love it. There's a guy named Clark Howard. He's like a consumer advocate and stuff.
She's a great.
And he loves sending people on vacation, but save money. And he always says, just wait till the last second and buy the cheapest thing that's out there wherever it is. It may be Iceland in the winter, but you're gonna go dirt
Oh, that's cool.
cheap. You know what I mean? Supply and demand. Maybe just a neat idea. We're over the time. I'm sure you gotta go.
Sports tickets that way, what you're talking about. You go there right before the game starts and you got somebody whose friends weren't able to make it. They'll sell the tickets for practice.
Or if the weather's bad, I mean, they crack me up. Like, one of my daughter's roommates, he's been to every Tennessee game this year.
Hmm.
This is what Hayden does.
Awesome. Good for him. It
Can I tell
happens.
you the only thing that scared me today, I've seen on TV shows, somebody write on what they thought was a marker board. And I was sitting there thinking, is that really made for that?
I made sure.
I guess it's hard.
Smart people.
Yeah.
So we're over time, but I was gonna have you before we leave, but you could do it at home. The last thing I do is try to have you just write down your 3 biggest takeaways, these 3 biggest points of whatever class you're in, and because we forget.
No.
Okay, well, thank you
Thank
all
you.
for being here. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
It's nice.